Let's summarize the key points and look at next steps. CSS, or cascading style sheets, are a set of rules to selectively style HTML elements. We use style declarations to select web page elements for styling and define style properties for the selected elements. Best practice is to create a separate style sheet file or set of style sheet files and link to them in the HTML file using the HTML link element. The universal selector, indicated with an asterisk, selects all elements on the page. It's useful when resetting all of the elements. The element type selector selects all elements of the type. Define styles for multiple types by separating them with commas. There are numerous combinator selectors. We covered one, the descendant combinator. It selects the elements matching the second selector that are within the first selector. The class selector, indicated with a preceding period, selects every element with a matching class attribute. Using class selectors is often the recommended technique for styling elements. The ID selector, indicated with a preceding hash symbol, selects the one element with the matching ID attribute. An attribute selector, indicated with square braces around the attribute, selects elements with a matching attribute. A pseudo class is a keyword added to a selector that styles an element based on that element's state. Inside the style declaration, we add the CSS style rules. The syntax requires the property name, a colon, and a value, sometimes with units, and we end each rule with a semicolon. There are literally hundreds of style properties we can set, many with their own unique values and units. But you don't need to memorize these properties because they are fully documented on the web. I recommend using the developer.mozilla.org website, or MDN, for the most complete and up-to-date CSS information. The box model is key in understanding how to style, lay out, and align elements on the page. The content is the actual element contents, like text or an image. The border is the edge of the element's box. Padding is the space around the content within the element's box. Think of padding like packing materials. Margin is the space around the element, outside of the element's box. It impacts how close the element is to other elements on the page. Use the browser developer tools to examine the box model and debug sizing or layout issues. As you continue on the path toward becoming a web developer, keep in mind that CSS is key in making a website look inviting, functional, and aesthetically pleasing. If you want to focus on the design side of web development, dive deeper into more of the CSS features. Knowing one or more CSS frameworks or tools, such as Bootstrap, can help you in your career. Congratulations! You now know the basics of CSS. Yay! So, what's next? You can expand on what you've learned here, digging deeper into CSS selectors and style properties. You can learn about CSS animation, media queries for responsiveness, and the Flexbox. You can look into Sass or Less, which are CSS extensions. They provide extended features, such as defining variables for standard styles. As you can imagine, it's rather time-consuming to design and style an entire website using CSS styles. Often, web designers and developers use a CSS styling framework, such as Bootstrap. A styling framework provides a predefined set of CSS style sheets. These style sheets provide professional-looking navigation bars, tables, buttons, forms, and more. Plus, our web pages still have no interactivity. We need some JavaScript code. That leads us to the next courses in this series. These are the courses in the How to Become a Web Developer series. This CSS course is here. I'd recommend the Bootstrap course next to learn a CSS framework. In that course, we style the virtual pet cafe website we created in the HTML course. then the JavaScript course to learn the programming language of the web. Thank you for joining me, and all the best as you continue your journey toward becoming a web developer. Before you go, please like and subscribe.